Remember when Ruto slighted Congo, implying they only have music to export, nothing else, and that they need us to export milk to them?
Hii mambo ya maziwa, tukiuza 3 billion liters, na tuko na soko kuanzia hapa DRC, hao watu wako na 90 million people, hawana ng'ombe moja. Hii DRC watu ya kuimba hii, sio anaweza kwanda bongoma nani hawa wa kuimba. Na wanafunga suruali wanafungia hapa. Hiyo watu twende tuwauzie maziwa.
In this episode, we will talk about seemingly unrelated events that add up to a perfect storm to the benefit of a few and detriment of the majority. We attempt to show you how it all adds up. We draw a connection between President Ruto's travels and several of his political and moral U-turns that he has made with little explanation. We attempt to show you why he is interested in positioning himself as the champion of African affairs to the world as a Pan-Africanist president, even fronting Raila Odinga to the African Union, and how it is all connected to the rushed Adani JKIA takeover. Let's start with the first U-turn. Ruto's attitude changed towards Congo. Suddenly, early in his presidency he took keen interest in Congo, traveling there several times.
Head of state has this evening left for a one-day state visit to the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Take advantage of Kenya's strong relations with Congo Brazzaville to unlock untapped trade opportunities in the two nations.
Even sending peacekeeping troops to Congo.
What did he discover there that captured his attention?
We will be discussing opportunities in mining
of its huge and significant mineral resources.
He even became the champion of Congo's infrastructural development, pushing China to extend the standard gauge railway all the way to Congo.
We are, for instance, engaging China on extending the standard gauge railway from Kenya through Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, the DRC, into Congo Brazzaville, thereby linking the Indian Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean.
Surely, do you need a train to export Kenyan milk to Congo? There must have been something else he discovered. Let's look at his other U-turn, a moral and political U-turn. Enter Ali Hassan Joho, Cabinet Secretary, Mining and the Blue Economy.
I nominate for consideration and approval for appointment as Cabinet Secretary the Honorable Hassan Ali Joho, Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy, and Maritime Affairs.
Ali Hassan Joho, who has a stellar international reputation.
In 2010, the then Internal Security Minister, the late Honorable George Saitoti, tabled a list in Parliament, including yourself as a suspected drug trafficker. The U.S. Embassy also stated that Kenya Anti-Narcotic Unit suspected that you were involved in narcotic trade.
Yes, Saitoti tabled a report on a dossier that he was given, that was passed to him through the American Embassy.
But this is the U-turn. Earlier on, Ruto and Joho had a bitter rivalry, exchanging tough words in public rallies.
You heard what William Ruto said.
Wale walanguzi, wale wanaofanya biashara ya kuuza madawa ya kulevya Mombasa hii, haijalishi wako na uwezo gani wa kisiasa, sisi tutapambana na wao.
Ruto implied that Joho was a drug dealer, causing Joho to go on the defensive. Joho called Ruto a thief in public, accusing him of looting public resources, even saying that he can never work under him.
Hakuna mfisadi katika nchi hii kama William Samoei Ruto. Sina haja mimi si umange maneno. Watu ni wengi ambaye hawawezi kukubali kamwe kuongozwa katika nchi hii na mtu ambaye ameweka rekodi ya ufisadi katika Kenya hii. Hatuwezi kubali. Na sisi kule tuna mambo mawili tu, hatubadilishanga watu majina. Tunasemanga mwizi ni mwizi. Shida iko wapi?
Suddenly, interests aligned, and Joho was appointed a cabinet secretary under President Ruto's government, and bitter rivalry was left in the past.
I, Hassan Ali Joho, being appointed the Cabinet Secretary of Kenya, do swear that I will at all times be faithful to the Republic of Kenya.
And who best to put as the Cabinet Secretary for both mining and maritime affairs? Ali Hassan Joho, the man from the coast. By linking Congo to the port in Mombasa via SGR, one has a direct corridor for transporting heavy minerals through the Indian Ocean. The dock at Joho got is curious and adds to the story, but his international reputation that Ruto implied he has fits in with the Adani JKIA story, whether by design or by coincidence. What is Adani's reputation? What is he known for?
The Adani group is now finding itself in the eye of the storm. As per reports, recovery of nearly 3,000 kilograms of heroin was made by the Directorate of Revenue Intelligence from 2 containers at Mundra port on 16th of September.
The Directorate of Revenue Intelligence seized containers with nearly 3,000 kilograms of heroin from the Mundra port managed by Adani ports.
The combination of Adani at the JKIA airport and Joho at the Mombasa seaport seems to be a perfect storm brewing over Kenya. To see the connection between Adani and Joho brewing a perfect storm, you have to ask yourself, why is Adani so key in the Congo narrative?
Rajesh Adani, the managing director of Adani Group, has been accused of involvement in a diamonds trading scheme and has been arrested severally over allegations of fraud and forgery. His brother-in-law, Samir Vora, who is the executive director of Adani Australia, has also been implicated in the same diamond scheme.
Adani's elder brother, Vinod Adani, is alleged to be the mysterious operative behind a series of offshore shell companies in the UAE and Mauritius, whose purpose is believed to be embezzlement of funds, money laundering and stock manipulation by secretly buying stocks of Adani Group, while posing as unrelated companies in order to manipulate the true value of Adani Group stocks, thereby deceiving potential investors and the governments that give them infrastructural contracts. These companies are said to host fake websites that mask their real purpose. Are these the people we want to entrust the operation of JKIA to? Are these the so-called friends from the UAE who are freely offering expensive private jets to our state officers beyond what our budget allocations allow?
Now, President William Ruto has landed in India for a 2-day state visit where he is expected to engage Prime Minister Narendra Modi on various areas of cooperation between the two nations.
Kenyan President William Ruto was on a 3-day state visit to India, his first trip to the country as president.
The president is expected to meet various players to forge partnerships on the healthcare front.
We had a wonderful conversation with Prime Minister Modi. I have a lot of admiration for Prime Minister Modi, the way he has managed to pick up India and the way he is focused on matters that affect common people and the way he believes, like me, in bottom up. And as I told you, he is a great inspiration on what he does. And of course, I was asking him, well, it's tough, doing things for 50 million people. I don't know how he does for 1.4 billion. It's quite something.
Why did he tell you that? The answer to that?
He gave me some tips, not for the media.
And now to the next U-turn by Ruto. Ruto's relationship with Raila Odinga has been sour.
Kwani hatujui mzee wa kitendawili? Si tunamjua? Tunataka kumwambia mzee wa kitendawili, wacha kujificha nyuma ya Uhuru Kenyatta. Wewe mzee wa kitendawili, sisi ndio tunashindana na wewe.
Then suddenly, Ruto developed cordial relations with Raila, even fronting him to the chairmanship of the African Union.
I present to you a visionary Pan-African, a bold and wise leader, a professional and technocrat, as well as a towering statesman and a veteran mobilizer for positive change.
President William Ruto unveiled former Prime Minister Raila Odinga's bid for the chairmanship of the African Union Commission. President Ruto has termed Odinga as a visionary Pan-African, a bold, wise leader, and the most qualified statesman to successfully steer the African agenda.
Ruto seems to be on an agenda to sell himself as the Pan-African leader, and having Raila as chairman of the African Union puts that within grasp. But it is not vainglory he is after, no. Opening up Central Africa via SGR, taking the initiative to send peacekeeping troops to the Congo, and positioning Joho and Adani at the main ports in Kenya plays to the goal of siphoning resources.
Indeed, Prime Minister Modi organized for a Kenya government mission to visit these companies' infrastructure projects. I'm talking about Adani group of companies, a reputable company by my knowledge.
They have been bribed.
They have been bribed by the Adani company.
How much?
In billions. I am talking about Raila Odinga and William Samoei Ruto. Adani was one of the companies sponsoring his campaign so that he becomes president in 2012.
Is that so? Adani Group was sponsoring Azimio campaigns?
No, it wasn't Azimio those days. They sponsored the presidential campaign of Raila Odinga.
Which election?
2012.
So you're saying Adani was not involved?
I have no idea who Adani is. I've never met him.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And he didn't fund the campaigns, or did he?
I wouldn't know. The point is I don't know.
Yeah, but because you're here and you were on that ticket, so you're saying you don't know, or
how would I know?
Yeah, public participation, you see, is fine. People will be asked. But you cannot do this indefinitely. This idea of public participation is being taken out of context in this country. Adani company, conglomerate, is worth over $200 billion. Deal with issues as they are.
There is every likelihood that something will go extremely wrong. We are aware that there are a lot of bribes being exchanged for these companies to get jobs.